2022's first State of the Union with the President of the United States. It's a big year for Democrats. A potential red wave is coming, and it probably should. I don't buy into polls. We'll just have to wait and see. I thought Biden came out with a lot of energy, and this was a good look for America. We need to appear strong right now, and that starts with Biden. I only watched the first 15 minutes, and then I had to go to bed. But I didn't hear him mumble or stumble too much, so that was great. I can't help but wonder what they had him on, some kind of stimulant? Or maybe he hit up Hunter for some crack? I don't know, but he was all hopped up on something last night. And oh, shit, I forgot. I'm sorry. No joking around anymore. It is 2022, right? But hey, it is another day, another you. Welcome to the Jay Rooney Show, number 17. I still remember the first State of the Union I took serious. I listened with intent, and I quickly realized within the coming days it was all bullshit. That's what I thought about last night. He said everything most Americans wanted to hear, just like he did on his campaign. Look at us. Of course, we all agree with Ukraine, for the most part. He seemed optimistic about the pandemic, but I don't trust Biden even a little bit, so that was whatever for me considering what I went through with the mandates last year. He talked about inflation. The Wall Street Journal said the White House has already made a series of efforts to deal with price increases, including efforts to ease supply chain bottlenecks and target what they say is a lack of competition in key industries. But inflation, which recently hit a 40-year high, has proved to be a stubborn problem and a major political liability for Democrats in the midterms. Still, the president's proposals to increase domestic production likely wouldn't prove immediate relief. The administration is also dealing with the potential that the crisis in Ukraine pushes up gas prices even more, which I've been talking about, I feel like, every day lately. Well, I have no faith in this administration. I made more money year over year for 4 straight years. Year 1 under Biden, I made significantly less. My rent went up, along with everywhere else in my area, so it wasn't like I could just go get a cheaper place. My food bill is more than double, and every company everywhere is raising prices simply because they can right now. No, Biden, I thought you were the worst president of my lifetime in April of last year, 4 months into the job. So no, I don't think you can, and I don't think you will fix this. You, sir, are not a good president, in my opinion. I have to go to work still, so I'm going to move on because I still have another topic I don't enjoy discussing coming up, which is Hillary Clinton. She said some stuff recently about how we should cyber attack Russia and basically censor everyone in America that doesn't go along with her narrative. Everything she says is so full of hate. She only speaks when she has something to gain, or she can express some of that hate without backlash. She wants to go after the citizens of Russia. And I get it, we're at war, and the citizens are the backbone of any war. This could have crippling effects on Russia's economy for years. What does she care about the Russian people? She doesn't care that a large portion of Russia is westernized, and it's probably why Putin hates us so much. He does have some support in Russia, but they all use Western tech and platforms. I think we should keep this on the table, but coming from her, it just felt like an opportunity to hate. Another guy that I'm always skeptical about is Pat Robinson, and he was talking about how he thinks Putin was compelled by God, but he has every right to talk about that. People have been telling me revelation is coming since I was 13 years old. All of a sudden, Hillary wants to silence any voice like this or others who haven't gone with her narrative, even though everyone is talking about this. I told you about that date I recently had, the Nostradamus predictions. She's just full of hate. So next, Ukraine claims Russia used an illegal vacuum bomb during invasion, which is potentially a war crime. The International Criminal Court has started investigating Russia over potential war crimes the country may have committed during its invasion of Ukraine, after Ukrainian officials claimed that Russia used an illegal weapon during the war, officials said. On Monday, Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. Told reporters at the U.S. Capitol that during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the former country used a vacuum bomb in violation of international law. A vacuum bomb is a thermobaric weapon that is typically more devastating than traditional bombs as it absorbs oxygen in a given space to cause a significant blast capable of vaporizing humans. Sounds like it's straight up out of a movie. I get why we have war crimes, but I also don't get why some forming alliances will with arguably the most powerful country in the world, i.e. China. Then you have several other countries saying they don't want to get involved or care about the weapons they use. I don't know. I know a lot's changing every day in terms of who's supporting who, and obviously NATO is huge, and Europe could easily just collapse on Putin. So I mean, a lot of this is still tough to talk about, but the point of a war is to win, right? So if Russia's really trying to win this war, regardless of the reasons they're doing it, I think they're going to continue to use whatever weapons they feel necessary. So are they afraid of more sanctions because Western countries agreed to remove 7 Russian banks from SWIFT, the financial messaging infrastructure that underpins the global financial system, but left access open for some others, leaving open a pathway for energy supply payments. So we've already hit them pretty hard. And, if we were to cyber attack them or hit them even harder, we're just going to continue to cripple them. And I guess the reason why I'm hesitating to do that, I guess I have faith that not Ukrainian forces, but as Europe comes together and if NATO does really start backing up Ukraine, we're going to just come in there and suffocate Putin, who's already severely underestimated his efforts. We've had stories of them running out of gas, food supplies, things like that, which it could all be propaganda. Like I've been encouraging everyone out there to make sure you double check everything you hear, everything you read. Propaganda comes from us, it comes from Putin, it comes from China, it comes from everywhere. Sometimes I even question, is anyone even telling the truth? But anyways, the US stock indexes fell and bond yields slipped while oil prices rose to the highest level since 2014. The US and other major oil consuming nations said they would release 60 million barrels of oil from their energy stockpiles. And yet, man, yesterday there was so much news. I don't know if you noticed. Part of the reason I wanted to try to do this in some short, quick videos is when I try to have discussions with most people in my life, they tend to not know much beyond the headlines. And if you try to take the conversation deeper than that, they get really frustrated with you. And I think it's really important that we have conversation and that we debate, but we all stay supportive of each other and we all stay, compassionate and remember that we're ultimately doing this for the better good of our community and our society and our country. So I think it's good to discuss these things, but also on the flip side of that coin, a lot of people that are willing to have the discussion with me also get really, really mad. And it's hard to have discussions with them because, they'll resort to name calling and they raise their voice and they start yelling at you. And if you disagree with them, then you're the problem. You're on the other side. You're this, that, and the other. So anyways, yesterday there was just like this barrage of, or this plethora of articles that I saw just coming out one after another. So I'm going to link a bunch of these in the description. But, if you want to see, Biden speaks to Ukraine Zelensky. There was an international criminal court probe launched into the possible war crimes. Ukraine issues war bonds raising by 270 million. Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline lays off all their employees. Apple halts production sales in Russia. Meta Broadens restrictions on Russia's IT Sputnik. Ukrainian war lifts wheat prices to the highest since 2008, which everybody should know how I feel about wheat after I did my recent beef episode. If you don't, go check that out. But I really don't think you should be eating wheat products anyways. Next, Ukrainian refugee numbers cross over 600,000. Zelensky says Ukrainians are fighting for an EU membership. Russian markets remained shuttered following the sanctions. So, guess whose elegant explanation of the Russian-Ukraine conflict this is? Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. That is our Vice President, Kamala Harris. She must think we are all idiots. Or maybe she was just trying not to laugh. I don't know. But, I guess some good news is as the world stage kind of steps up and condemns Russia, It appears as China might be backpedaling on Russia a little bit and claiming it's more of a strategic partnership versus an ally. So that could be a good sign. There's just so much going on in our world right now. Just make sure that you're walking more, you're lifting, you're eating less, and make sure you try to have a great day. Thanks for tuning in to another Jay Rooney Show.